Hi, this is Brian Hurlburt. I'm an independent manager with Watkins Products Company. First, I should say that the comments you hear and opinions expressed are mine and mine alone, and not to be construed as those of Watkins Incorporated as a whole. And in case you're looking for it later, my Watkins consultant ID number is 342198. And that's needed for things like becoming a consultant or placing an order with Watkins. By using my ID number 342198, that can help you with the process. Now, the reason for me starting this video today, or recording this video today, is just to share a little bit from my heart as to what it means to me maybe to be a Watkins consultant, an independent manager with Watkins, and maybe entice you a little bit, if I can use those words, letting you know what the benefits of being with Watkins are, because, many of them go far beyond any money or rewards, although the money and rewards are nice too. I started my journey in Watkins. This is my second go around with Watkins. So I actually started my journey a number of years ago. I'm going to say in the late 1999 era, or maybe early 2000s. When I joined for a year, I joined online. I got together, went to the mall and set up and did a little display there at a local market. And once that market finished, well, you know what, so did I. Let my membership go and had always kind of planned to come back someday, but, certainly was no hurry. And even the day that I did join, which was in the 19th of September in 2009, I looked at my sponsor at the time and I said, Angela, I said, don't expect too much. I said, I have tried at least 6 other home businesses, some of them 2 or 3 times, including Watkins. And I know these things don't work, but I do want to be able to get my products, know where I can get them, and get them at a discount, and also be able to get some gluten-free product for my neighbors when they needed it. And that's kind of how I started, and I was totally skeptical. I mean, why would Watkins be any different than any other home business or direct sales company out there? Well, the first thing I did is, even before I had an order book or planned to take any orders, is I went down to our local restaurant, which was in Bear River, Nova Scotia, and is now gone, unfortunately, but it was called the Changing Tide Diner. And I sat there and I was just kind of leafing through my catalog, and this is our current catalog. And I was just kind of flipping through the catalog and looking at the products, and you would have thought I had candy. Because when people saw the name Watkins or J.R. Watkins, they got excited. They actually wanted these products. Now, for somebody who had sold everything from insurance to vacuums, it kind of intrigued me. So I went home and I thought about it, and I actually went out. There's very few people who do this these days, but I went out and I knocked on a few doors and started visiting my neighbors. And from there it grew, and much to my surprise, in my first month I did about $1,500 in sales. And I looked at my partner Denise and I said, you know what, I said, this is nice, this is great, but we live in such a little area. I certainly don't expect for this to continue. And you know what? The next month, my phone began to ring. People had heard that we were selling Watkins, and they wanted things like the vanilla, things like Watkins pepper and cinnamon, like these here, and other products that Watkins is so well known for, like the red liniment, petrocarbosalve, and medicated ointment. And all the quality products that J.R. Watkins has been developing for 147 years now, since 1868. And so that's my first full month and my second month. Both months I did about $1,500 in sales, and that was in a real small rural community, the area surrounding Bear River, Nova Scotia. And it was very much to my surprise. And then, the Canadian winter set in, and I kind of got a little lazy. Although the sales continued to come, but it was about February, I guess, of 2010 when my manager come to me and she said, and this has all changed since, in fact it's gotten better, but she said, if you have just 5 personally sponsored people. I didn't want to hear it. I knew that stuff didn't work. And I looked at Dawn and I said, Dawn, not interested. She said, well, I have to tell you. And so she told me about a bonus that I could get my 3rd month at manager, a one-time bonus of up to $500. And I said, yeah, really not interested in that. And I went home and I sat and I thought about it. And based on my experiences with other companies, I decided that, by the end of March 2010, I was going to have those 5 people. Because my thinking was, and again, based on other companies, if I did that and it didn't work, and I knew it wouldn't, but if it didn't work, then I could just go on doing my own thing and would be left alone, because there would be no reason for anyone to be bugging me. Well, I'd like to report that Don has never bugged me, nor has anyone else in Watkins, which is kind of nice. But it was just my experience, speaking from my past involvement with other companies. Now, the neat thing is, I'm very thankful that my thinking that this would never work was wrong. And I continued to be pretty skeptical right through to the summer. I became an independent manager in June and July of 2010. And, I got that bonus that Don was talking about come August. And it was that September when I really set my first goal. And to be honest, I set a goal I knew I couldn't reach, because I had become discouraged working with other companies. I had given up dreaming, given up goal setting, and all of those things, because with every other company I had come to, it seemed to me that the carrot, it was just out of reach. Just out of reach with all those goals and rewards that they were talking about. And I'd set a goal and I'd miss it and I'd get discouraged. And so in September of 2010, I looked at my partner Denny and I said, you know what? I said, let's bring 8 new people into the business. And we both laughed because we knew that that was impossible. It was more than double what we had ever done before, and pretty near would double our team if that actually happened. But you know what? Because it was an impossible goal, and I've thought about this many times since. In fact, I've kind of put impossible goals to work in our business. Because it was an impossible goal, I decided to just go for it. Didn't matter if I didn't reach it, it was impossible anyway. So, you know what? We failed. We didn't bring in 8. We brought in 6 and helped one bring in 1. So we actually added 7. More than we had ever done before. And yet, because the goal was impossible, it overcame my fear of failure. But the other thing that it overcame was my fear of success. Because I knew if I reached those goals, then more would be expected of me. I wasn't really sure I wanted that, Using impossible goals in our business is what's helped to spur us on. It was the following year, I believe, either in 2011 or 12, that we had our first manager, Jerry, and she's still with us today. And I believe it was in November of 2012 when my niece, Michelle Hurlburt, who's an independent manager on our team today, she came with me to a ladies' auxiliary craft fair at the Legion, where I had a table with Watkins Products set up. And Michelle had been in another company prior, and she really didn't think she wanted to do anything like this again. And she could watch the people's reactions when they saw Watkins Products. And she said, you know what? She said, I'll get my membership. I don't want to sell. I just want my discount. Well, it kind of sounded familiar. Kind of sounded like me when I got started. And I'm happy to report that a week and a half later, I got an email from Michelle. And she said, I'm just going to do whatever you tell me to do. I never dreamed the customer demand would be like this. We hear that a lot, actually. People are looking for Watkins. They just need somebody to get it from. And so when I got Michelle's email, it kind of took me back. And I really had to kind of look at it personally. And, I kind of say tongue-in-cheek and jokingly that her father's my brother, and he's a little bigger than I am, so I really had to think about that one. And I wrote her back and said, Michelle, if you can take our suggestions and do the follow-through. Anyone who's done that, it's only been 3 or 4 months and they've become a gold consultant or an independent manager with Watkins. And according to the last published stats, our independent managers make around $10,000 a year, working part-time flexible hours, mainly from home. So I'm happy to announce that in February, 3 or 4 months later, Michelle became a manager, independent manager with Watkins. She accompanied me to Las Vegas, where I had been asked to speak on how Watkins has changed my life. And when I spoke of things like having Michelle with me and being able to travel to places like Las Vegas and being able to take family and other consultants with us. And, since then we've had a number of new managers come on our team. Sue Lissard, an incredible manager with a huge, making up a big part of our team. And going to St. Martin in the Caribbean, my partner Denis and Michelle Hurlburt, and then going to Playa Mujeres in Mexico, north of Cancun, with Sue Lissard and Kim Sargent, another independent manager on our team. Looking forward to going in April of 2016 to Playa Mita, or Iberostar, Playa Mita, just north of Puerto Vallarta, and I know that there's going to be 5 or 6 of our consultants and some of their spouses there, and what a wonderful time we're going to have. And I'm not saying any of that just to hype it. It's just some of the experiences and the rewards. And you know what? We have people on our team today. We love them all. Whether they are trip earners, whether they do markets, whether they do in-home tasting events, or whether they just share their catalog with their friends and family. We help people. We meet people where they are and help them to do what they want to do with Watkins. And I think that's one of the big things that makes it work. And we've taken a lot of time and put into training and support. And even Watkins and the way things are done today, it's a new compensation plan with more money. It's new training and support tools. Our leadership executive team, just things that we didn't have when I got started. That for a person getting started today, it's so much easier, more income, and putting all the trips and rewards and everything aside. seeing someone make the first sale, seeing someone sponsor the first consultant, or simply seeing a customer being genuinely helped with one of our products. Those things are what make this so incredible. And all the trips and income and rewards, honestly, that's kind of secondary. It's more in helping the people, both our consultants and our customers. And that's what Watkins and Watkins Products allow us to do. Let me ask you a question. When was the last time you seen a Watkins consultant in your area? Because we need one. And it'll either be you or someone you know. And I invite you to contact me with your questions. Call me toll free, 877-822-8463. I'd be happy to speak with you, to answer any questions, and maybe even help you get started with Watkins. Again, I'm independent Watkins Products Manager Brian Hurlburt. It's been my pleasure to talk to you today, and I look forward to your call. Call me at toll-free 877-822-8463, or check out our blog at justgonaturalblog.com. And remember, my ID number is 342198, and the comments you heard and opinions you've expressed here are mine, and not to be construed as Watkins Incorporated as a whole.